Hello and welcome to Buccaneer Media. Today on the show, I want to take a look back on How to Train Your Dragon 2. Getting into it, I remember rewatching the first movie very recently, and I thought to myself that if this series can maintain making films as good as this, then this film series is going to be a treat. But my expectations were surpassed in almost every way with the second film. It is one of those rare sequels that you only see come about every once in a while, and I think it's rare that an animated film does that as well. The last animated film I can think of doing that was Toy Story 2. Now, how does it surpass it in just about every way? Well, for one, the animation. Organically, it should have to begin with because technology advances, so our understanding of how to use that technology for animation also advances. But the score from the first film was nominated for an Oscar. I don't believe it won, but it was nominated to say the least. The second film score surpassed it, and I don't even know how that is, and I think it had something to do with the score fit in with the epic scope of the second film more than the first film's score fit in with the last minute Act 3 epic scope. And that's where really this film was going to go. It's been about 11 years since the events of the first film, so there's going to be good consequences and bad consequences from the time that there was peace. But this film shows that with good consequences for good decisions, there are also bad consequences for good decisions as well. Their peace came about, but it was only a matter of time that they would come across a new enemy. And that new enemy is Drogo, and they would never have to deal with him if they just didn't come to terms with having to go to peace with the dragons, because they can fly now. So naturally, there are more enemies further out. They dealt with the enemies in the small radius, now they have to deal with the enemies in the larger radius. And that is Drogo. And Drogo, he was pretty good. I liked him. I can't really pinpoint a villain all that much in the first film, because the villain really was supposed to be the inner struggles of Hiccup and Toothless and what family is, because it's a family film. This film has a villain, and he's a good villain, but, you know, it sticks to the fact that it's a villain. It's not like the first film. The emotional heart of this film is what I said. It's in the consequences. The consequences of Hiccup's mother, the consequences of Hiccup's father for not ever looking. It's just about consequences, and it works so well because you see the consequences of the decisions. And I know I'm saying consequences a lot, but there's just a lot of decisions to be made. There's a lot that goes on in this film, and I assume that everybody has already seen it by now, but still, just if you take a look back at this movie, you can see that there is a lot that happens for Hiccup's character to turn into the man that he is supposed to be, whether or not that is supposed to be him taking after his mother or taking after his father, and that is something that I absolutely love that they are doing, because it reminds me of one of the major things I love about the Thor series, which is Thor was supposed to become the man that his father wanted in the very first film, and it didn't happen until Thor Ragnarok. And that's something that really made me like the Thor series almost more than just about any other MCU series right now. But, as you can tell, I've already gone on long enough just talking about this because I love this movie. This movie, it's so good, and it baffles me that I actually love an animated movie marketed towards families as much as I do. Just me rambling and ranting to you, it makes me glad that this movie was made, because then I can go and I can talk about how good it is, because it's almost a nostalgic feeling as well. But that nostalgic feeling I will go more into in the next episode of Buccaneer Media, where I talk about a full spoiler review of How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. So, that's all for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.